Hey everyone, Bob the Canadian here. So I have a new little series that I'm doing. I'm going to call it, I don't know, Introducing Lords or Learning the Lords of Middle Earth expansion, because after playing it for a little while, I honestly think it's the more fun way. It can be a little more luck decided, but it also just leaves so much more room for creativity, and it also balances the game more towards free people. So I just want to do a little series, not so much explaining the rules, like explaining the rules a bit, but more illuminating with like one short video at a time, one key part of the Lords of Middle Earth expansion, so that if it's something you don't like, you're not that excited about, but like watching a 5-minute video from that goofy Canadian YouTuber every now and then seems appealing, then maybe you get to know Lords of Middle Earth a little bit, and then maybe you're up for trying it and or joining the tournament later this year. So anyway, long story short, this is propaganda. You're welcome. So I'm mainly introducing in this first video the series, and I want to tell you about the Chief of the Ringwraiths, because I think he really encapsulates the heart of the expansion. He really opens the door for the Shadow player to focus more on corruption than military, because in the base game, it's usually wiser for the Shadow player to rush military and only do corruption sometimes when the game has decided that it makes sense. It's kind of the plan B, as it will. But in Lords of Middle Earth, it's a lot more open because of the Chief. So anyway, I'm just going to, like, I've drawn cards, so we're pretending that the first turn is starting. Shadow player is going to allocate one eye, and we'll roll the dice, and we'll roll the dice. Okay, I don't like these dice for what I want to show you, so we're going to try rolling them again. Okay, that's better. That's better. Okay, so now we have a few more eyes and some movement for the Fellowship. So we're going to say the Fellowship moves right away. Hopefully they get hit. They do not get hit. Shadow player is going to move some armies. And then free player is going to move again. They're hit this time, and it is a reveal. Perfect. So the thing about the Chief of the Ringwraiths is that, so he's an alternate version of the usual Witch King that you bring in the base version. And with this base version, he can be brought into play with a muster die, but he doesn't need Sauron to be at war, which is a fairly big deal. We'll touch on that more later anyway. So here he is in the force pool. So for a muster die, I can put him there on top of the Fellowship. He always comes in where the Fellowship is, and he specifically needs them to not be in a free people stronghold. So as soon as he's revealed or declares out of Rivendell into the open, then the Shadow player may spend a muster die to bring in the Chief. He does add a die to the force pool the same way the Black Captain does. But he only has one leadership for battle, but you don't really want him in battle. That's not the plan with him. His thing is that he will follow the Fellowship. So say the Fellowship manages to hide, and then next turn they move some more, and they declare away. The Chief of the Ringwraiths has the ability to immediately follow them. If they're declaring. If they get revealed as a result of the hunt or from a card, like Nazgul Search here, then the Chief does not get to follow them. So if they get hit again and revealed, then the Chief doesn't follow them. But if they hide and declare away, then the Chief gets to follow them. So that's handy because he does count as a Nazgul, so he's adding rerolls that whole time. And his other ability is that, say I had a character card that was playable right now. Yeah, like on they went. I can spend this character die to play this as an event, right? But because the Chief is sitting on top of the Fellowship, he adds a card cycling ability here. So whenever I play a character card while he's on top of the Fellowship, I get to immediately draw another character card. So that's very handy for cycling cards and trying to hit the Fellowship with as much corruption as possible. So anyway, there's a lot more differences to add to from the expansion, but this one is a pretty big one for making corruption viable. So that's why I wanted to start here. Anyway, we'll be putting out more sooner or later. Hope you enjoyed. See you next time.